On today's video, I'm going to do something dumb and install coilovers on my perfectly fine daily that is perfectly legal and legit right now. But no, in all seriousness, I've got a weird clunk coming from the driver's side front. I'm not sure if it's a shock or if it's something else, but I'm going to pull it apart and install the coilovers and see if that fixes it. And I'm going to drop it at the same time, because why not? So here's the coils here. They're obviously DCs. They are in used condition, but they seem to be in pretty good nick, to be honest. So they are obviously for a Lexus IS 250, but I guess all the same. So we'll see how hard these are to install. I'm sure they'll be pretty straightforward. Almost forgot to do a bit of a before and after. If I can just drop the arch down to just above the tyre would be sort of perfect for now. Obviously I am going to be getting wheels hopefully in the near future, but it's very hard to find decent 19s or 20s that are genuine wheels for less than $3,000 at the moment, so that won't be happening until I can find something decent. So just taking this first driver's side off, the one that I'm having issues with, and as you can see the shock looks pretty leaky and fucked. I did try and test out the wheel bearing when the wheel was on. Wheel bearing seems to be fine. All the bushings look pretty good, but yeah, that shock looks like she's seen better days. So this isn't really a how-to or anything, but just a couple of things I found interesting while playing around with it. Obviously newer car thing, so it's covered in plastic everywhere to get to the top hats. This car has electric dampening, so it has this weird like box on top that you have to take off before getting to the strut itself. So as you can see, that's it there. I might still put that on just because there's not really any good way of disconnecting it tidy, so I might put that back on there just so it's tidy and out of the way. But as you can see, I've got the first BC in. Nothing too hard about this, to be honest. It was pretty straightforward. It only took me about 15 minutes. Probably would have been a bit faster if none of my batteries were dead flat, but everything's just hand tight in at the moment. I've just left it at the height that it already was. I can tell you right now it's probably going to be too low, but we'll get to that point. Okay, so by far the rear is 10 times worse than the front. I haven't even got the shock in, or the new shock yet, still on the ground, but first off, as you can see, that's what the little motor for the electric dampening looks like. Obviously it goes on the top of the shock here, but look at this fucking shock. So it actually bolts to the, I guess the body, just up in here, there. So I had to take this lining semi out so I could get to it. Obviously someone's been having some fun with a little bit of rubber on the arches, but nothing major. I did have to drop the sway bar at the linkage here just so it would drop a little bit. I had to unbolt this bottom arm there so I could drop the shock out. So other than that, it wasn't too much of a major. We did have one casualty, and my adapter for my little rattle gun decided to snap in half. I know I need to get a 1/4 inch drive or 1/2 inch drive or something that's a bit better than that, but whatever. But the rear interior is such an ass to get up in there and up to that. So I'm going to zip tie that little connector for the electric dampening up out of the way, get this next shock in and do the other side. Hopefully get the interior all back in without breaking it. I tried to do it as nicely as possible, but just get to a point where you just want to rip it all out. So the car is officially on the ground. Before I show you guys, first off, it's a lot fucking lower than I wanted initially, but now that I've seen it, I kind of refuse to raise it unless it just scrapes on everything. But now seeing it with 18s, which I really was avoiding trying to get 18s because I thought 19s, 20s could run the body a lot lower. But with 18s, it actually still looks good. So if I find some 18s that are like the right size, I might just cop those because it'll be easier to find nice wheels in 18s than it is in 19s or 20s. So here it is here. As you can see, it's a lot fucking lower. Obviously the wheels are fucking how you going, but the stock alloy wheel, even to be honest with a 20 or 25 mil spacer for now, would actually make the car look a lot better, because obviously you get to this angle and she ain't got no wheels. Yeah, she's sitting a lot fucking lower. This is the better end of the car anyway, so the old rear end. So I didn't do a outro to the video. Currently had the Juddies in the Crown for a good 2-3 weeks now and absolutely loving it. Definitely rides a lot stiffer. I've had to wind the dampening back all the way to soft and it's still fairly stiff, so it must have pretty high rated springs, but definitely enjoying it. And hopefully the next video on the Crown will be wheels, because this thing needs wheels ASAP now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe. Cheers.